Hey VC, this is Harvey. I've spun the Black Circle. Hope everyone is well, doing good things, and already getting into 2026. This is my response to the Americana Vinyl Tag, as put to us, I think, by Americana Sam. I'll try to put a link in the description or comments to his original Americana post. Brought to you, of course, in a Kiss t-shirt. What else? That great, renowned country rock band Kiss from Detroit. So this is the first thing I had in the wash after I finished work today, hence the not particularly appropriate attire for Kiss t-shirt. But anyway, question 1. Show your favourite Americana album of 2025. So, a great year for Americana and country. Bubbling Under, I really enjoyed the comeback LP, I'm going to call it, from Little Feat, which was named Strike Up the Band. Kind of harks back to their classic 70s sound, which I was quite surprised at. That's really good. Also the Jeff Tweedy triple album, which was really consistent for a triple album, Twilight Override, released in 2025. But the one I'm going to select is, I think, one of the eminent outlaw country female singers of in country at the minute, Margo Price, and her latest LP released in 2025, Hard-Headed Woman. Nothing is missing with Margo Price. Songwriting, X Factor, arrangements of her songs, sound and production, unbelievable. Not to mention songwriting. One of the greatest country stars, I think, active in the genre at the minute, and this is either our 5th or 6th album, but it's absolutely tremendous. Quite a sad story, I think, and hopefully I do this justice and don't in this age of alternative truths don't say the wrong thing. But she definitely, I know, had rhinoplasty, so a nose job quite recently before this LP, and I very much think part of that decision was down to awful online trolling. Incredible, really, that a stunningly beautiful woman, which she's always had been, with a kind of slightly big nose and in a kind of still unbelievably beautiful, felt the need to have to go do something as drastic as rhinoplasty because of some online trolls or some aesthetic perception of some idiots online, probably who aren't fit to lick her boots, either musically or how they look, and then she had to do that. But anyway. Maybe she did it for reasons that were much more inward and self-fulfilling, I hope so. But I didn't remember reading a lot of online trolling and her responses to people talking about her nose, which was just unbelievable because she was stunningly beautiful. But anyway, here we go. Back to the music. This is an amazing LP, and I think it is a response to some of the crap she's gone through. Hard-Headed Woman by Margo Price. It's really good. Sequencing, songs. It's the real deal. So that is my Americana album of 2025. Question 2, show your favourite used Americana album of 2025. So I love that thing of being in record stores and just finding something unexpected. And for me this year, that was The Blue Rose of Texas by Holly Dunn. Late 80s, early 90s US country, Nashville country star. This is a really good LP. This strip down here was because this is from a BBC archive album collection, which they sold off to loads of record stores in the UK during the last few years. I'm in two minds whether to get these taken off or leave them on because they're quite nice. But the reason I got excited about this is because I'd been listening for the last few years since lockdown to her earlier LP, Across the Rio Grande by Holly Dunn. One of these albums that I just couldn't get off the turntable. So when I saw the Blue Rose of Texas for something like £4 in the UK, I got it, and it's an excellent LP. So she was an amazing star. Sadly died of cancer, I think, in the 90s, well before her time, so we lost her. But that's really good. Holly Dunn's The Blue Rose of Texas would be my used find of 2025. Question 3, show the last Americana record you purchased. So again, quite a sad story. So Heart Food by Julie Sill, her second LP, I want to say from about 1972 or 73, thereabouts. What an amazing album this is. I think she would have been up there with the Joni Mitchell in terms of what she eventually achieved if she hadn't died in the 70s. I think it was of depression and drug problems. This second LP is world class from the songwriting to the production to the orchestration to her ability as a singer-songwriter. Unbelievable. But yeah, if you haven't heard Judy Sill, I would probably start with Hard Food, then go back to her debut self-titled. But this is an astonishing LP. I think a lot of the lyrics are quite faith-driven. It's not Christian country or Christian folk, but there's lots of praise to God, and she clearly was a woman of faith, and that comes through without being preachy in this LP, Hard Food. So it's kind of heart-wrenching in the same way that some of Ian Curtis's work with Joy Division was. I mean, I'm not comparing it in terms of how the music sounds, but it's there's a lot of gut-wrenching and soul-searching in this music, and that comes through, and probably why it's so good. From quite a tragic artist, it turns out. So yeah, Hard Food by Judy Sill, the last Americana LP that I purchased. Question 4, show a record with an acoustic instrument on the cover. So I'm going to brag a bit here because there are only 99 copies of this next record globally from quite a renowned artist, and I'm talking about the album Troubadour by Gordon Giltrap. It was originally released on CD in the early noughties. It was only released in a quantity of 99 copies 3 years ago in 2023. There's the acoustic instrument and the guitar on the cover. If you don't know who Gordon Giltrap was, he's renowned in the UK, lauded by Jimmy Page, for example, as an amazing blues stroke country folk instrumental guitarist and electric guitarist, actually. And this is an acoustic album, as I say, from about 20 or more years ago. Just amazing. So you can stream this, so it's on some of the streaming channels. You just probably can't buy it on vinyl. It's sold everywhere, and I managed to get a copy of the 99 that were pressed. In the UK, those who'll be familiar with Heart Song, his big hit, which ended up being a theme tune for a holiday program in the UK, but you might not be familiar with Gordon Giltrap in the US. You should get familiar if you like really great acoustic instrumental guitar. He went off into tangents. There's some kind of proggy elements to what he did in other albums, but this is more acoustic and more country, hence the selection. So that's that. Show an LP that's 50 years, country Americana album that's 50 years old in 2026. So I will cheat a little bit here because this next LP was recorded in 1976, all of it, but wasn't released until very early 1977. So cheating a bit, but I will show what I think is the greatest Dolly Parton LP there ever was, which is New Harvest's First Gathering, recorded in 1976. Just incredible. No longer by this stage has she got record companies telling her what to do. It is written, produced and arranged by Dolly Parton at the peak of her powers, and there is not a single bad track on this LP, and it builds and builds to what I think is one of her greatest tracks ever, the final track, which is quite an epic, named There, which has kind of these choirs and orchestration on it, and it's unbelievable. So yeah, New Harvest First Gathering. I think this is better than Coat of Many Colours. It's better than Jolene for me. If you're wondering what the fuss is with Dolly Parton, I would actually start with New Harvest First Gathering. Is to me a signature work from her. Next question. Show an acoustic ballad Americana track, and I'm going to choose a track from an LP that I just devoured during lockdown by Buddy and Julie Miller from the LP Breakdown on 20th Avenue, and the track from this is Till the Stardust Comes Apart. It's only about a 2.5 minute track, but if you don't know who Judy Miller is, first of all, she's a country Americana singer. Her husband is Buddy Miller. She's got a kind of guttural voice in the same way that Stevie Nicks has, so kind of the Stevie Nicks of country. I don't mean she apes Stevie Nicks, but it's that sort of kind of raspy sound. And then Buddy Miller is, he's a renowned session guitarist and solo artist and songwriter in his own right. So they're husband and wife, and this is an amazing LP. Their voices work so well together on this acoustic ballad and actually throughout this LP. Interestingly, every track on this is written by Julie Miller across the album, and Till the Stardust Comes Apart. If you just put that 2-minute track on now on your streaming service, I promise you'll end up listening to the whole LP. So yeah, Breakdown on 20th Avenue. One of a number of LPs that are great by Buddy and Julie Miller, but that track stands out for me on that acoustic ballad selection. Question 7, I think we are. Don't judge a record by its cover. Show a record whose cover is worse than the music. So what is astonishing to me is that this Wilco album isn't lauded, even by Wilco fans. It's got a terrible cover. Cruel Country by Wilco from 2023. Terrible cover. It's like a doily, isn't it? With, you can't even read the band's name or the title really, unless you get really close. But Cruel Country, I don't understand why this is not. I think this is the best Wilco album. I'm going to come off the fence here. It's the best Wilco album I've heard. It harkens back to their initial old country sound, on Being There, and a bit like a lot like Uncle Tupelo. But this, to me, what happened was Jeff Tweedy was hoarding songs during lockdown, clearly, and then we had this double album in 2023 from Wilco, Cruel Country, and it's absolutely astonishing. Not only the songwriting, but the whole arrangements, and particularly the song that just blows me away every time I hear it is a track named Many Worlds, which starts off with this kind of quite gentle acoustic song with Jeff Tweedy. Then the full band comes in, and their guitarist, Nils Klein, who's an astonishing guitarist, plays this kind of 1.5 minute, 2 minute solo, but really melodic solo, and it's almost ethereal. It's that good. But I mean, look, start to finish, this is, to me, is the exceptional Wilco LP, and I'm pretty astounded it's not more lauded and applauded by Wilco fans. I'm a big Wilco fan. I've got almost all their albums on vinyl. I know that albums like Yankee Foxtrot Hotel tend to come out top, so does Being There, and so does sort of LPs like Star Wars, more experimental, and A Ghost Is Born tends to come out towards the top of their list. But this Cruel Country, I haven't heard a better Wilco LP in terms of consistency, application, how tight the band sounds. So I'm just quite surprised it doesn't come out top. I mean, the last LP, I think it was Cousin, that's really good as well, but nothing compared to this 2023 LP. So if you're kind of Wilco fan and you kind of didn't give this a proper listen, try again. If you're new to Wilco, I'd maybe start here, especially if you're an old country fan, and maybe go back to albums like Summer Teeth and Yankee Foxtrot Hotel. So yeah, amazing LP and much better than its cover would suggest. Show an Americana record by a woman. Now I think this is massively underrated actually, and she is too. This is the, I think it was the debut. No, it wasn't the debut solo LP, but it was a comeback album by Mandy Moore, Silver Landings. I think it was from 2021. This is an astonishing Americana album. She's kind of famous for being, I think, the voice of Rapunzel in that Disney, was it a Disney film? It's a kind of a child star as well. But this is post divorce from Ryan Adams, so it's kind of one of those divorce albums that's kind of shot through with this kind of, you know, reflections on marriage and where some of the best music comes from, right? Which is the troubles of life. But yeah, Silver Landings by Mandy Moore. It's got this kind of California country feel to it. So there's a bit of this that's kind of in that kind of sun-blushed California sound, like Carly Simon or like I'm trying to think, a bit like Fleetwood Mac as well, and that's in the sun-blushed sound, but it's definitely a country or Americana album. So Silver Landings by Mandy Moore. Choice of an Americana record by a woman. Question 9, what was your favourite Americana tune of 2025? So actually I would go to probably the last track on the Jeff Tweedy triple album, Enough, which is really good, but don't have that on vinyl yet. I'm going to cheat a bit and say that this was the first time the Spy Boy by Emmylou Harris live LP was released in 2025. So I'm going to choose my song of 2025 being Where Will I Be, from this tremendous live LP. Again, Buddy Miller on guitar features again. I mentioned this album but didn't show it in my main vinyl tag in response to Dave Atkinson, but that's an amazing song, Where Will I Be, from Spy Boy by Emmylou Harris. Question 10, name an underappreciated Americana artist. Quite lauded, but I still think she should be in the top pantheon, is Lucinda Williams. And she's got a new album coming out soon, I think, but Stories from a Rock and Roll Heart from a couple of years back by Lucinda Williams. It's not her best LP. She's had amazing albums like the self-titled LP from 1989, and particularly Car Wheels on a Gravel Road, amazing album. But I plucked this out because I need to play it more. Actually, it's a really good album. So, Stories from a Rock and Roll Heart. Bruce Springsteen features on one of the tracks here. She is loaded. I've seen her live and she was amazing. She's playing again in Birmingham next year. But I think she should be in the top pantheon, and she tends to be kind of bubbling under there. So Lucinda Williams, I think, is an underappreciated singer-songwriter. Show an Americana acoustic singer-songwriter record by an artist not from your country. So that's quite easy because, blimey, there aren't a great number of UK Americana acts. You've got the Wandering Hearts, who are a recent band who are quite big. The Shires, who are quite big as well. But it's very easy because American artists, by virtue of the title, rule the roost. So this is quite hard, I guess, for Americans trying to choose non-American Americana artists, but easy when you live outside that country. So I'm going to choose this LP from 2020, The Dirt and the Stars by Mary Chapin Carpenter. Amazing country Americana artist. This is a really mature, gorgeous, well-produced and well thought through LP. Think her last full solo LP, so it's been a few years. It's just a lovely album, and epitomizes her talent as an artist. So yeah, Mary Chapin Carpenter. If you haven't heard The Dirt and the Stars, I would recommend it. Last question is: challenge another channel to participate in this challenge. I'm going to choose Steve Carlson, actually, because I'd be interested to see his slant on Americana, and he's got such a wide taste, and hear how he responds to the questions. So if Steve is watching, or someone gives him a prompt to do it, I'd love to see how Steve responds to this in his inimitable style. So there you go. Slightly longer than I thought. It's 17 minutes, but not quite as long as some, I suspect. Enjoyed doing that. Hope I see a lot more these Americana tags, and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and above all else, peace. Bye.